Welcome everybody, I'm Dr. Sage Wolf and I am at the DOD5STAR World Healing and Training Retreat in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico. So today we're going to be going over DOD5STAR's personal treatment and training and certifications. I want to talk a little bit about it all. But why get personal treatment and training? Because people don't know truly where they're at. They're not really certain. Do I just need some treatments to alleviate these symptoms? Or should I take more? And that's totally fine. You can come out to us just to alleviate some symptoms. But do you want to get trained? Do you want to learn the essence of what a perfect day is for your body and how that's going to change? Do you want to learn how to go in with Wolf Non-Surgical and lovingly pull the scar tissue, pull the crystallization, pull the calcification apart that causes that bone on bone, that causes that endometriosis, that causes that scoliosis? Because regardless what it is, if you have issues in your tissues, it's a scar tissue issue. And what is scar tissue? People are always questioning that all the time. I've heard of scar tissue, and some doctors even nowadays will talk about what scar tissue is. And they'll be like, oh, there is scar tissue in the area. But nobody ever talks about, how do I create scar tissue? How do I get it? And that's where the story begins. We all live to a degree as we age because we get farther and farther away from what truth was, our spirit, our inner child accessing. And I'm not saying act childish. I'm saying act as your inner child. Find that peace, find that joy, find that love in everything, find that non-judgment in everything. And that's what we try to teach out here. And so how does this all happen? We start off as a beautiful being spirit. You play, you grow, sometimes you get punished, and your spirit starts to diminish because you're told all these rules. You're not supposed to do that. You're a bad boy, you're a bad girl, you're naughty, you're dirty. All these wrong things on how you're so wrong. And we could be no farther from the truth that that spirit that was coming here was actually just trying to show the parents how to find that inner child of themselves. And so that little child, just say, is playing, it's growing up, 5, 6 years old, it injures itself. You have to go to the hospital. It's a broken bone. It's a big cut. The doctor says, no problem, couple stitches, a little cast. The bone's going to be stronger where it broke. He'll heal no problem. Because the body is so connected to that vibration. It just came from a higher vibrational being of some sort, whatever you want to call it. God, Buddha, spirit, it doesn't matter. We all come from some. And if you don't agree with me, it just doesn't make sense because you're here, you're a physical being. You give love, you give hate, you give anger, you give sadness, you give joy. You have all these amazing emotions and amazing abilities. Clearly some essence of some higher power has come into this physical body to do something on this magical plane. Because it is magical and it can be very dark, but it can be very bright. And it just depends on how we look at it and how we take things on. And that's how that little child heals. That little child doesn't bag on himself thinking he's ugly when he looks in the mirror or she's ugly when she looks in the mirror. I hope not, unless the family has indoctrinated and manipulated that child's mindset from the very get-go. But generally, that 5, 7, 12-year-old, to a degree, they should have a lot more love for themselves than us adults do. And they were a lot more connected to spirit, so they're going to heal. The doctor even says it. The bone's going to be stronger where it broke. But then we age. And that's the problem. And it's not the problem aging, but we don't age gracefully. I age with anger. I age with resentment. I age with toxicity. I age with dehydration. I create an aging of dysfunction pretty much because I'm allowing my body to break down. I'm not aging gracefully. I'm not growing into my body. I'm destroying my body. And so, as this happens, even for that little child, it happens for everybody, but that little child, remember, is more connected to spirit. And so, we damage that area. Lactic and uric acid has to go to the area. It's like even minimally damaging it. You go for a long run or a long walk, or you do a lift that you haven't done before, or you do an exercise you haven't done before. I'm really sore the next day because you have lactic and uric acid buildup because your body is not accustomed to doing that. That's okay, that's not the problem. Lactic and uric acid is fine, we just don't want an excess buildup of it or you'll feel too sore, too achy. And then it just shows that you're too acidic. But lactic and uric acid goes to the area to heal things. But then I had a really stressful day at work and I rolled my ankle, and then I come home and I'm all pissed off and my wife didn't make the meal I wanted for dinner, and all these stupid little things that set me off, I'm releasing my negative stress hormones, and that is the silent killer. There it is, histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol. And short form is hack. And this goes into like a lot of our manuals as well. Have you ever tried to hack something up you can't digest? You just can't digest fear, you can't digest anger, and so it's, I just gotta get it out. You can't get this stuff out. So I have lactic and uric acid going into the area to try to heal. But now I'm pissed off, I had a bad day, I'm in a grumpy, I'm not in a parasympathetic state. I'm not living in the present moment. I'm living in the future, I'm living in the past, or I'm wallowing in the past. It's one or the other. And so I release that histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol, and it binds that lactic and uric acid together, causing like a crystalline buildup. That crystalline buildup causes little bits of fibrin in it. And so if you look at a piece of steak, and I'm not talking about the fat striations through a piece of steak. You know what fat looks like the fat cap on the outside of the piece of meat. But sometimes when you're pulling the steak apart, you're pulling that meat apart and you see like, oh, a random white striation through it. That's not just a random tendon hanging out, because remember, tendons attach muscle to bone, ligaments attach bone to bone. But that weird white line in it, that's fibrous tissue. So that animal had some fibrous tissue, and it's totally normal, we all have it. But that fibrous tissue is like within that crystalline buildup, causing a little bit of dehydration and causing the inflexibility that you're accustomed to having. So then my body heals, but it healed in a point where it made it a little bit shorter, a little bit more dehydrated, a little bit more bound up. So now my body knows that is a slight weak link. And so I think I can do the same exercises, I can think I'm still doing the same things, and I can think I can stretch the same way, and I keep tearing that fibrous tissue that is kind of crystallized now. And then you build on top of that. We put more lactic and uric acid there. We release more histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol. We bind that up, and now you have a mass. You have a scar tissue formation. You let that go long enough and strong enough by and close to an area of a joint. Then you have displaced calcium causing bone spurs, calcification, or bunions, like causing like that bone-on-bone stuff. So this is like the domino effect of the dysfunctional healing. But what happens when I cause an injury? Because no matter what, remember, like I said, lactic and uric acid has to go to the area to heal. But you know what? Maybe getting this injury is teaching me a lesson. I need to slow down, get into my breath more. Maybe it shows my muscle tissue or my bones are not in the best state ever, so maybe I should get on some ionic calcium. Maybe I should watch my diet, get on a better alkaline diet, start stimulating that area. But I am content with learning from this lesson. I'm not mad about it. So now I release those positive hormones. So I'm just like that child. I'm going to release my dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. That is going to go to the area because I'm staying in that parasympathetic. I'm in the present moment. I am content with the injury. I know it happened because I was a little bit out of my head, but now it shows time to slow down, change my diet over, get back on the ball. And so now you're going to heal gracefully. The body wants to heal. So it's where are you putting yourself along these lines? And so this is just how scar tissue is created. But right now, out in Ixtapa Zihuatanejo at DOD5STAR World Healing and Training Retreat, a week and a half ago, I had a wonderful gentleman, I think 70 or 72 years old. He wanted to come out, get some treatments, and get some training. There is no age, there is no mindset that can't learn the Wolf Non-Surgical if you feel able to yourself and willing to learn a new technique, to learn something new. It's not difficult, I'm telling you. It's practice makes perfect. Riding the bicycle was not difficult, but becoming a professional at the bicycle was difficult. But the thing is, anybody could come and ride the bicycle, can learn Wolf Non-Surgical, and can become their own practitioner. The 70-year-old that came out and got like trained in Wolf Non-Surgical, he's not doing this because it's like, I want a new career and I'm opening up shop and I'm going to be doing 7 to 8 hours of non-surgical a day. No, he's doing it for his mindset as well, because how do you create new neural pathways? By learning, by growing, by learning new things. He learns something new, and then he learns a technique that for his grandchildren, for his wife, for his children, they don't need to completely live in pain. He can go in, and he's not a master practitioner, but he doesn't need to be. He knows, he has the videos, he has the manual, and he knows the technique. If you can learn the technique, You can work on any issue out there. And Tora did not know anything, like she knew a lot about different types of healing modalities. She knew nothing about Wolf Non-Surgical 4.5 years ago. She was not certified, she didn't do Wolf Non-Surgical, and at the end of that course, it's not like she was saying, hey, I need all the sickest people to come to me, but she had confidence enough. I always make sure you have confidence enough that you can deal with an ailment that is a focus. Like, oh, my husband has a bad upper back issue. I will make sure you know how to go in lovingly. And I'm not saying better than a massage therapist or better than a chiropractor because it's a different modality. It's better because it does more. But it doesn't make them more relaxed than a massage would. Gosh, I would send them for a massage. It doesn't crack them and get them back into place. But I wouldn't be sending anybody to a chiropractor if they had a mass amount of scar tissue pulling them out of position. Because why am I gonna smash something and adjust it back into alignment? And I'm not saying chiropractics is bad, because if you are perfectly hydrated, you have an amazing diet, you stretch all the time, and you know that your tissue is pretty fortified and healthy, but you tweaked your back one day, a little chiropractic adjustment, boom, put you back into alignment. But you're like, oh no, every couple of weeks my back kind of acts up a little bit, and then I have to go for a chiropractic adjustment, and then it comes back. Why are we on this hamster wheel? Like any issue should anywhere be from 3 to 5 treatments where you have seen at least 30 to 50% relief. And if it's severe, the worst case scenario, and I'm talking to the people on here who think they're bad, there's worse out there, I promise you. And then if you are in a detrimental state, I believe it, that might need 20, 25 treatments while we're doing great healing. But the thing is, it's not like right back to back. We're going to take a year and a half, slowly changing your whole physiology of your body and you learning how to train your body to become strong again for that area. Because it's not just about removing the scar tissue. It's about bringing life back into the tissue. So we want you to come out to us. And I myself, like Dr. Sage Wolf, I travel around the world. I teach people. I've taught in India, China, Argentina, Australia countless of times, all throughout United States, Colombia. I train now in Mexico. So like, there's no place that I won't go if you can't come to us. But if you want to come out, get trained, get certified, be in a beautiful environment where you can learn how to heal, get the freshest juices, get to the beach, ground yourself, and just decompress and learn, I definitely recommend going to braveheartnation.com and checking out the DOCA Detox and what we truly do. So, like Tora and herself, Tora's a master practitioner. You've done some trainings, haven't you? And the thing is, these people aren't complete practitioners to go around the world now and work on clients. But are they able to work on themselves or their partners? Do they have the confidence now in themselves to say, hey, I don't constantly need to go to that massage therapist. I don't constantly need to go to that Reiki. I don't constantly need to do this, because they have found a balance within them that we have shown them that everybody can learn this technique.
Absolutely, Sage. And you know, the beauty with this technique and the beauty with this work, and like you mentioned, you had a gentleman who was in his 70s, and I'm actually working with quite a few clients at the moment that are in their 70s. And what we're able to do with this work and really teaching them that nothing is irreversible, we are really able to rejuvenate every part of their being, and we're actually able to fast track healing. And I think, you know, when we get to a state of dysfunction, and you know, whether it's sort of the hip or the spine or the neck, and our body doesn't move properly and doesn't carry us in the way that it used to, you know, we really lose that trust in our body, and I believe our body doesn't trust us. And through these treatments, because they are so powerful, and I feel like I move mountains, sometimes years and decades in 1 or 2 or 3 treatments, you know, they actually are embodying these amazing shifts on a physical, emotional, and even on an energetic, on a spiritual level. And when we transcend, I think with this technique, we're really able to transcend time. And then when they really see, like, you know, wow, I can walk down the stairs, or I can get off the floor, you know, without help, or I can move my shoulder that's been frozen for the first time for, you know, 5, 10 years. And it sparks something inside them, and it activates that practitioner and activates a deep love for the body and for what it is to move well and to age well. And, you know, they become really enthusiastic. So, you know, by someone coming and, you know, training with you or coming and training with myself, they really are different on every level from the minute arrive to the minute they go home, because, you know, on a physical level and also on a cellular level, shifts in the tissues, in the energetics, in the mindset, in the belief in themselves, we are really able to create massive healing and massive impact. And once we understand that as a human spirit, then, you know, we ignite something in ourselves that is really magical, and it really takes us out of suffering and out of this idea that, you know, once we have an accident or we have this massive amount of scar tissue or calcification, we are stuck with that for the rest of our life. It is not so. And, you know, through the Wolf non-surgical and also the energy medicine, you know, the beautiful nutraceuticals and the perfect day lifestyle, we are really teaching them that it's up to them how much they want and how healthy and vital they want to live the rest of their lives.
And that's just it. And that'll go into me having my new clients here right now. My new clients, they're a little younger. They're in their early 50s. And they don't have major issues going on. But she has issues she's tired of dealing with because it's been reoccurring for so long. And her partner, he doesn't have many physical issues going on, but we can see limitation in his body. He's a larger gentleman, like I'm talking like tall and broad. He's an endomorph. And so he has a lot of pressure on those joints. And we don't realize, if you're not in physical pain, you don't realize how slow the progression is as you age of what you used to be able to do. Like, you at 50 is not much different than 48. But you at 50 is a hell of a lot different than 30. And so when we actually reverse years off of the actual issue, we're going in, and I'm not doing, oh, we're bringing it back just to like a couple months ago, a year ago. No, I want to get your tissue back to such rejuvenation. It is like a child's like tissue. It is malleable. It has beautiful connective tissue through it. There's no contracted masses. I don't feel any fibrin buildup. I don't feel grizzle along the bone ledges. And so this is what we can do. And so with her yesterday, she had a pretty bad migraine, and she's been struggling with migraines for a long time. And when you're doing the neck, we're going to be going over the neck right now, guys. I just want to talk a little bit about it today. But when you're doing the neck, you can, and when you're doing any type of non-surgical, it's very interesting on how accepting the body is of it, depending on the person's beliefs. One person's neck I can do, and they can have the exact same neck issues, two of the exact same kind of neck issues. One person I'll work on, one treatment. My neck feels free. There's still a little limitation, but it's like almost completely better. Then I'll work on the other person's bad neck, and you're like, oh, it feels worse the next day. Because you know what? That's probably an emotional attachment that you've been burying, and it's trying to release, but you're not able to process it properly through the heart. So the tissue is kind of fighting back on us. So we have to do different stuff, and we have to go in more with love, because that person isn't ready to process all those emotions. Because at the time of me building up this scar tissue, me building up all this contraction, I thought I was going to die. And so that's why I put the scar tissue in the area, because I was so vulnerable that I thought I was getting attacked. So I've built this wall. And so now when I'm actually working on it, your body kind of brings up the same emotion, that same emotional attachment that was happening at the time where you thought you were being attacked. But now it's like during the session of like you needing to let go. And so we need to do more like emotional work. We would go into the 4 pillars, the recall healing, the breath work, the love band work, and that would help us let go of what was kind of stuck in there, keeping you debilitated. But I worked on her neck, and she is very accepting of this stuff. She came out here and she's like, I want it. And I'm grateful, and I want it. And so I went really deep first time. I was like, wow, I can't believe you're tolerating this amount of pressure. Afterwards, I thought she was, I thought from all the years that she's had these issues arise back and forth, I thought that she was going to get a migraine. I talked to her this morning, no headache at all last night, very good night. They went to the beach, they did their sand scrub, and then today we continued with the training. So all is well. But neck issues, how do we deal with neck issues if I live alone, if I don't have a partner, if I can't come out and see you, Dr. Wolf? This guy is going to be your best friend. Most of you guys have shot glasses in your house, so that's going to become your best friend in a positive way, not a negative way. And then once again, I don't have a plate with me. I want a small dinner plate, like a little like disc dinner plate. You can have one that's kind of like a hexagon shape, but it might be a little like tough at the beginning. But right here, I literally just have like an empty picture frame, but that kind of mimics a ledge that I will show. Because there's stretches, there's claps, and then there's like little things I can do with the one-shot therapy or the shot glass. If you don't want to use a shot glass and you want to just like purchase something that's even better, get a guasha stone, G-U-A-S-H-A. Guasha stones will break up the crystallization of the scar tissue in the areas that you can reach it for yourself. It's an amazing tool, but if not, you don't want to go get a guasha stone, shot glasses are amazing. Just make sure they have a little bit more rounded edges and they're not very thin. If it's a thin shot glass and the glass is thin, it's going to be abrasive on your skin and it can tear and create like a blood rash. So we want it to be a little bit smoother. And that, guys, if you want to learn a lot about one-shot therapy and guasha stones and shot glass therapy, go into the do-it-yourself healing guide in the Doc and Detox library. We go over padding, clapping, belly button therapy, and one-shot therapy. But either way, just for the neck, I want to show what I would do. It would take me 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. So 5 minutes to do majority of it, and then I would say it would be good if you could do 10 minutes of clapping. So first off, what can I use here? I have a shot glass. Lucky me. So there's a shot glass here. I'm going to turn around. You guys can still hear me, but I just want you kind of looking at the back of my head. So I have a scar back here, as you can see. I hit my head a long time ago when I was a kid. So I do have a little bit of, with a scar, you're going to have scar tissue. It's impossible not to. Any surgery creates more scar tissue in the body than anything else. But you causing scars in yourself where I had to get stitches, I have to have scar tissue because it mended the tissue together. So I could work all along that scar one direction, pulling, then I could pull down. And it's all in the angle of the shot glass in my hand. Then I could pull up. And then I could push to this side, to the right. So I went left, down, up, and to the right. All 4 directions directly on that little scar. But let's just talk about the neck for now. So if you feel the back of your skull, we have an occipital ledge. I can feel the base of my skull back here. That's going to be where in the middle you feel that soft point. That is C1. That is the brain stem insertion. I want us from pretty much bottom of the ledge, because I can feel it. It's by my earlobe. It's by that earlobe. So down by the earlobe, I can feel off. My occipital ledge kind of ends and these temporal bones begin. I want you working from one temporal bone all the way across to the other temporal bone, coming off that occipital ledge all the way up almost to the top of the ear, which is right about here. So if I was holding the shot glass, I want all 4 directions. I'm going to do it fairly quickly, but this should only take you 5 to 7 minutes to do the shot glass. And you don't need to do every single one of these therapies every day. But if I had a really bad headache or a migraine, why wouldn't I spend half an hour, 40 minutes trying to get that away? Pain was showing me something. It's my GPS. Let me listen to my body and let's deal with it. I'm number 1. I want to make sure I feel number 1. So I'm taking that shot glass and I'm using like the rounded edge. It doesn't matter what edge you use as long as it's not abrasive and it doesn't hurt too much. But I want to go to slight discomfort. And I'm pulling everything down. And I'm not dragging long motions. I don't want to see long motions, guys. It's small motions within the skull. And you're not scrubbing back and forth with the same pressure. I'm pulling one direction with pressure. And this is me pulling down, and I'm only going down with pressure, down with pressure. Then I'm going to go to the side with pressure, side, and I'm heading to the left right now. Then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to go to the right. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to head up. So that was just on one little section. This little muscle in here is called your occipital condyle. It's right beside your occipital eyes. And so I'm going to do that all the way. I could just go down all the way across. Then I could come flip up, work all the way up across. Then I could do sides, all the way to the sides. across. And I really want to focus along that occipital ledge to the temporal ledge and right in the middle where C1 is. That's going to be like the focus point. That's going to be a kind of a mimic of the elbow to help get some of that crystallization and fibrous tissue along these suture lines opened up. So once I've done that, that's when you could do the plate. So this is not a plate, guys. I'm talking about a circular plate that is like an actual dinner plate, and the smaller ones, not the large ones, the smaller dinner plates. And it can have little lips to it, but you want the rounder edges at the beginning because when you lie on it, it's gonna feel like your head is burning because it's slowly pulling the suture lines apart, and then it also helps separate the spinous process, so in between each vertebrae. But that only works to C1 and C2. Ah, there we go. Amazing. My lovely assistant. Gracias. So, small dinner plate. Rounded edge, and this one's from Mexico, as you guys can tell. But rounded edges. I'm going to flip around so you can see it. The thing is, you can do this lying down in your bed, or you're going to take like a yoga mat, put it on the ground, and you're only doing this lying down. I'm going to show you sitting up. I'm talking to you guys right now. But generally, I'm lying down in bed. So if I went horizontal and I lied in bed, this is how the plate would be lying. It's sitting on my mattress, and my head is sitting up. I want to drag it all the way up to where I feel that occipital ledge, and then I want to remove my hands to where my hands, like my neck is balancing on the lip of the plate, and it's just hanging out right here. So it's like this bottom piece is sinking into the mattress. It's not going to flip on you, don't worry. And if it does, your head's going to go, doink. That's it. So you're going to be in the mattress, and it's pressing into that occipital ledge. And you're just going to hang out there. And over like the next 3 to 5 minutes, you're going to feel a burning sensation coming up into the skull. Then you're going to adjust to the sides a little bit, under the temporal ledge. And then I'll do that for 3 to 5 minutes. Then I'll do the other side, under the other temporal ledge. And this is just helping opening up that fibrous tissue because that neck gets so darn contracted because we live in fear. So at the end of that, then I would finish off with clapping. Clappers are very inexpensive. They're your best friend for stimulating circulation, blood and lymph flow to the area. And if you do it for a elongated period of time, the amount of stem cells you can reproduce, it's just like going for stem cell therapy. So there's two sides to it. On this side, there's like little nubs. And on this side, it's flat. I'm going to start always when there's like tissue and like there's a good amount of soft tissue on the neck. So I'm always going to start with the nubbed side. And when you're clapping, guys, I can't have watching your movie, tapping along. This personally, I'm sweating like a monster. It's a good thing my limp's moving. So as you're clapping, you can't just tap and get away with it. I'd rather it be painful for short bursts. You take a little break, and it doesn't need to be agony. I need to feel like your slight discomfort, slight sting. So I'm using the nubbed side first, and I'm going to do 5 minutes one side, 5 minutes on the front, 5 minutes on the side, 5 minutes on the back. That's why I'm saying each of these should normally take around 5 minutes. I'm not doing all of them in one day unless I was really struggling with a headache and I want to focus on it for the next half an hour to an hour. So nubbed side first, 3 to 5 minutes on one side, but do 2 minutes with the nubbed side, 2 minutes with the flat. And then go 2 minutes with the nubbed side. Don't hit it right on your trachea. You're going to feel like that's weird. And then you're going to be like, it hurts when I hit directly on my trachea. Do the sides, guys. Do the sides. It's just, I'm not saying it's bad, but like let's use common sense here. So we do stuff that slight discomfort, but never pain. So I always start with the nub side, each individual section. So side 2 minutes, and then side with the flat side 2 minutes. Side 2 minutes, side flat side 2 minutes. And then I would do that all around the neck. You do that, and if you did that 3 times a week, I don't know what neck issue you're struggling with, but you wouldn't be anymore. I don't know what kind of vertigo you're getting, but you wouldn't really get it anymore. It's about opening up these arterial pathways, getting the proper lymph, proper blood flow into the areas that just haven't been oxygenated and have been constricted for so long, choking off your life force. Do you have any little tips that you want to add in on that there, Tora?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's I think it's one of the most underrated areas of the body because it really is sort of the highway to our mental clarity, into blood supply and lymph supply and all the fluids and everything operating, the blood-brain barrier, all the things really operating that our brain can work maximally. And, I find when I work with people and I show all my clients that come the Caro plate and they become beautiful users of that, and also the clapping, is, the brain function, memory, less fogginess, even eyesight. I have my eyes have been my biggest challenge, and especially the occipital eyes, to making sure that they really are open and good circulation in that area. It just really activates everything, the innovation of our physical eyes, and even our intuition and all those different things. And I don't know if you remember the first time you did my neck. I was a professional musician, fiddle player, yes. And I sort of had a terrible situation on the left side of my body, and when you broke down that and you went in pretty hard, brother, I don't know if you remember that. It was a bit like an exorcism.
I remember that. That was like right in our center in the middle of the room, like at nighttime too, towards that. Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, that was brutal, but
But the thing is, you were ready for it. I'm not going to do that kind of session on somebody who's not ready for it. I'm going to tell them, hey, 10, 15 treatments, let me lovingly take that apart. And that's what we have to be as practitioners. You have the people who say, I have so much money, it doesn't matter. I don't want to be in pain. I don't like the sound of non-surgical with pain. I don't like that. So it's like, this is going to cost you probably double what it normally would. And then you have the person, I don't have much money. I really just need to get out of pain. And I'm like, I totally am in it for you. But you kind of have to grip that mat a little bit, breathe with me, moan, groan, scream if you have to, but I'm going to push your body as much as we can to do as much as we can within the treatment, because the body only wants to let go of so much each individual stage. You do too much too fast, you'll get sick, you'll fall off, you'll create a new disease. So we have to find that balance as practitioners to push our clients, but then we also have to find that balance with our clients where, do you want light work, many treatments, or do you want minimal treatments, very deep work? We have to work together on this. And Tora was like, Sage, this really hurts, but I actually feel this pain almost like intermittently every day in my life for the past 15 years. I'd rather go through 1, 2, 3 hours of this than a lifetime forever with it. So it's about finding. And that's where it really does suck, because people haven't woken up to that fact of, if it's starting to bug you, why not love yourself to deal with it now? People only truly, really ready to take charge when I'm dying in pain on a daily basis. It's agony. Now I will pay attention. And that's what really bums me out, because it's like, if we started paying attention at my age, when you're already healthy, you would never get to this stage. We wouldn't know what these diseases really are, because it wouldn't be a prevalent thing in our lives.
Absolutely. And it's, by having that clarity and removing the blockages to our neck and our head and our brain, it's, for a lot of people that I work with, even ringing in the ears and just constant headaches and just feeling dizzy and just never, something's wrong. I've had all the blood tests over 10, 15 years, and, everything's normal, but I'm not feeling normal. And, even when they drive away, it's just this flush of energy, of vitality, of mental clarity, of really, it's such a beautiful thing to get our lives back. And we have these incredible magnets, Sage, and I actually use my magnet. It sleeps under my pillow. It's under my pillow, and I use my magnet first thing in the morning and last thing at night. And it really adds that extra little bit in just really wellness. It's amazing.
Yeah, the amount of energy medicine we have out there, guys, the amount of stuff we try to offer, like the free information we offer, if you went, and I'm not saying go do this, but if you went and studied everything we offer for free and learned it from cover to cover, you'd be a better doctor than 99% of doctors out there. And you don't need to call yourself that, but like you're going to be a better holistic, nutritional, emotional, balanced, well-rounded doctor. The word doctor means teacher, guys. So you can be a teacher of literature, music, arts, health, natural health. There's tons of doctors out there. And the word doctor now is so blown over. Like, sure, I have my naturopathic doctor and I don't care. I just know a lot about health. Like, I am a humanitarian doctor. I do have my doctorate in, why am I forgetting? But give me a sec, guys. I have 3 of them. I just got it in Puerto Rico last year. We went, and you guys can get it too. We all can become our own doctor of natural medicine if you have the drive to want to put in the work, to learn, to do the studying, to do the programs, to get through it. Do you want to go become a medical doctor? I think that is amazing, guys. But you have to want to focus on surgeries because of an emergency state. You shouldn't be somebody who's promoting hip surgeries because their large intestine is putrefied so bad, they've rotted out their intestines, now they have putrefaction in their blood, and so we're stealing calcium. That just means the body can still want to heal. We don't need to go, but the thing is, any emergency state, and you want to be that kind of an emergency doctor, I think it's amazing. You want to take health seriously? Start looking into places like us, like other natural health companies that spark your interest, because that's where you're going. Like, look back into Mother Nature. If you look back into Mother Nature and all that stuff, you will find that you can become a better doctor for yourself and your family than anyone could ever do. Because only you will ever have that true care for yourself and your family than anybody else out there. So why are we putting the power in the hands of people that don't even know us?
And I think the other thing is in this sort of natural healing methodology, what we're really doing is we're taking, the knowledge, the incredible knowledge from ancient cultures, which has been around for tens of thousands, even millions of years, but we're actually applying it in a really intelligent, modern context. And the beauty of what we do also, that it actually has no side effects. And I believe true healing, that's really what it is. And to, have these, whether it's the nutraceuticals, whether it's the Wolf non-surgical, whether it's the energy medicine. And I have actually a lot of medical people come to me now and they're like, wow, there is actually no side effects. And that is true healing. That is really healing with nature. And, we forget that we are part of nature, and it's about reclaiming that and owning that and really living our life in such a way, and then everything can change. And then, even my children, we're on day 6 of a 7-day juice fast, a deep colon cleanse, liver gallbladder cleanse. And my daughters 18 and 20 are doing this, and they're working, and everybody at their work are like, wow, why would you put yourself through that? And and the sort of 3rd, 4th day, wow, can you get me some information how we can do this as well? But it's just this, we live in such a time where it's this long-term pain where we never really address the things, the little niggling things that get in the way that, over distance and time just deteriorate us so much that we sort of, there's this saying that we live well until we're sort of in our 30s, and then we're dying until we're sort of in our 80s, this slow decline. But by flushing out, by taking massive control, by actually loving ourselves enough to have deep passion and deep interest, this amazing organism, this skin suit that we have been gifted with. I get really passionate about this because it is our birthright to be healthy and vital. And, I'm much more healthy and vital than I am at 50 than I was at 20 and 30, because I was just so congested. I had so much baggage. I had so much pain. I had so much stuff that I've been carrying, and by gently opening up and deciding to, that it is my body, it is my responsibility. Nobody outside can fix me, can heal me, can give me the answers. And by passing this on to our loved ones, and by us learning that ourselves first and foremost. And the best way I know to do that is to come and immerse yourselves in one of our incredible personal treatment and training retreats, because that way you really have that full embodied experience. And when someone comes and stays with Sage, or when someone comes and stays with me, in a way, there is no room to hide to the old patterns, to the old beliefs. And it's really hard to heal in an environment where a dis-ease or a dysfunctional belief or an addiction was actually formed. And, giving ourselves this gift of transformation, of finding our brave heart, finding our authentic self, it is just such a beautiful thing. And life is meant to be joyful, and life is meant to be a fun-filled adventure. And, I truly believe that suffering is a choice. I have experienced it in my own body. This neck situation I started playing the violin when I was 6 years old, and my first teacher made me hold it without a sort of a shoulder rest. So I was doing, up to 8 hours of practice like this, and it completely look at the scar tissue and the calcification I had as a young person in the left side of my body, which is also my feminine side. So there was so much baggage, and I was at 11 out of 10 most days with pain. The pain was excruciating. But to really jump into the fire and to find this, to take this head on was the biggest gift. And, to have that experience myself, I now know that I can hold the line. I can have the courage for when my beautiful clients come and they are committed to the deep healing, because this process of, breaking this down, of going within to really activating that. And it's in the fire, it's in the, it's in the zone of uncomfortability where change is. If you want to stay in the comfort zone, you stay on the couch, you eat the Doritos, you drink the beer, you do the things, but your life will be misery. And to short circuit that, and in a very short period of time, 7 days, to completely transform every part of your being. And then we give you the tools, the practices, the beautiful rituals, the clapping, the pelvic squats, the lion heart breathing, the perfect day. Like, we send you home with the biggest gift, with a toolkit that you can use for the rest of your life to age beautifully and gracefully. And it's this work is absolute magic, and it's an honor to be on this journey, both for myself but also for the clients that I work with. And we are hosting this incredible training again in Australia in August. So Dr. Wolf and Dr. Sage Wolf are coming. And, if you are inspired by this, and if it touches a spark inside you, then you can go to braveheartnation.com and have a look. And if you want to sign up, and the first part is the New World Practitioner. So Dr. Wolf will take us through 9 days of the most incredible deep dive into your limiting belief, cracking the coconut from the inside out, looking what are the patterns, what are the pain patterns, the victim mind, the things that keep you stuck in the old, to really lovingly and a beautiful held space with other brave hearts to immerse yourself in this journey of discovering who you are and realizing that the beauty, the life force, your essence has always been within you. But it's about, activating that and learning to love ourselves first and foremost. And then the next course is the amazing course with Dr. Sage Wolf is taking us through, which is the Wolf Non-Surgical, which is an 11-day incredible deep dive into really unlocking and unblocking and discovering and learning all parts of the physical body. And, by even coming to this course, even if you don't want to become a practitioner, you get about, how many hours is it? 30 hours of deep body work done on your own physiology.
So they get 35 hours of body work themselves, and then they do 35 hours, and then the rest is like 30 hours of me training. It's about 100 hours in total. Yeah.
So it's absolutely life-changing, and it's just so transformational. And even if you don't, for now you think, I'll just go, I want some body work done, and it's a very good value. When you come and have personal treatment and training with Sage or I, it's a significant investment. And in these trainings, we are from morning to evening, going through different body parts, learning, integrating, embodying and so many different body types as well. People from all walks of life. We have, young people in their teens. We have women and men in their 80s. So it's just really experiencing the whole gamut. And then last and not least, we are doing the Pain for Your Pelvis and Disease Prevention Masterclass right at the end of August into the beginning of September. So in the beautiful Coffs Harbour of Australia on the East Coast. So we are facilitating, hosting these trainings again, and we can really choose to become either your own practitioner, or you can take this work on and add it to the toolkit of your life, transforming not only your own life, but everybody that you touch.
Pretty much hit the nail on the head there, Tora. So like she was saying, guys, anybody can do this. So it's time to take your power back. It's time to find that essence inside you, that fire. If it's not our course, you better find a course out there right now, because the world is getting darker and darker. I want to be creating better neural pathways. I want to be more financially stable. I want to be more healthy. I want to be more fortified. I want to be more emotionally balanced, because we don't know the direction the world's going right now. So why not be prepared? Not have, oh, I have to limp away. Oh, I have to roll away. Oh, I can't because I just can't. Like, I don't want to have all these like weird limitations on myself. And I don't want that for you either, but it takes you to make that decision for yourself to say, no more. If it's not our course, you got to find something out there that's going to start that fire, or just get to work. If you already know your program and you're lacking and you're slacking, get to work. You know what? Discipline is the highest form of self-love. But guys, Dr. Wolf is lecturing tomorrow. So tomorrow in Toronto, Ontario, if you still want to go, contact Magdalena. It's at a casino. I'm not too sure where, but her number is 416-669-9351. That'll be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is a day with the doc. They're going to have all the energy medicine out there. He'll answer all your questions. So if you'd like to attend, please do so. And I just do want to touch on that. As we were saying, last course that we will be hosting this year in the United States will be in Stuart, Florida in June. That is June 5th. That's the New World Practitioner Training. That starts off with Dr. Wolf, but go to braveheartnation.com if you're wanting one course or another, and you'll see the dates for my course or the pelvic restoration course. And then from then on, we are heading to Coffs Harbour, Australia. I'm excited to be back in Australia. That is going to be August 7th. We're going to start the New World Practitioner Training. Go to braveheartnation.com once again to check out our lecture dates, because I'm going to be in Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, I'm lecturing all around Australia. So be sure to check that out if you're in one of those areas and you want to come see it, you want to come meet me, you want to come experience some Wolf Non-Surgical. Chat with us about that, and I would love to be there for you. And then we are wrapping up the year in Ixtapa, Mexico on October 17th. But in between that, remember guys, I have availabilities that I can travel anywhere around the world to you. If you can't get to us or you can't make these courses, contact us and we might be able to fit it into our schedule and your schedule, and we can get you trained up and certified or whatever you'd like anywhere around the world. I just want to say thank you for joining us on this series of DOD 5-Star Personal Treatment and Training. Tora, where are you located and what is your place called?
I am located in Coffs Harbour and I have two practices. My business is called TK Lifestyle Solutions. And you can either come to the beach practice or we have a beautiful retreat on our farm. And all of those experiences are tailored completely to your needs. You can send me an email at Tora@tklifestylesolutions.com or www.tklifestylesolutions.com.au. Or if you have any questions, you can call me or text me on 041 399 3493. And once again, for the trainings, go to Doc of Detox, no, braveheartnation.com. And there you will find all the trainings, all the lectures that we're doing all around the country. I think the juice fast is getting to my brain, Sage.
I totally understand. I've literally drank water all day and it's 4 o'clock. I'm fusing out. My brain has been trying to connect words together and I'm like, I'm hungry. It's all good. So for those who have stayed on and joined us with this, thank you so much. For those of you who are going to watch in the future, please ask any questions. You have a physical question, you have an emotional question, you have a nutritional question. The questions are what I want, because then the questions can go back into our next videos for me to answer for you in the future. And if not, always just give us a call at the Doc of Detox. Go check out our number. And then you can ask for Dr. Sage Wolf. I will call you personally if you have any issues, concerns, and we can get that dealt with, or just like we can work together with on you, for you. Other than that, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Have a beautiful day, Bravehearts. Until the next one.